at the Ocean Bay Convocation Center. Now finally, there's one thing left to do. Get loud, make some noise, and cheer on your FIU Panthers.
Okay, it's ready whenever.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live broadcast of FAU basketball. I am Max Ziffer, coming at you live from the Ocean Bay Convocation Center in Miami, Florida, home of the FIU Panthers. Today, it's the in-state Sunshine State rivalry between your Owls and the FIU Panthers. But let's take a look at what's at stake with this game as the season is progressing. At the top of the leaderboard for Conference USA standings coming into focus, but the bottom half still a bit blurry. Playoff implications, 6 teams are separated by 1 game. Those 6 teams, Southern Miss, Florida Atlantic, North Texas, La Tech, UTSA, and of course the Panthers right now all separated by just 1 game. And if the FAU Owls could claim a win here in Miami, Florida, that would surely enhance their chances of making the conference tournament, a team that definitely has the talent not just to make it, but also compete in the conference tournament in the postseason. And put away playoff implications, pride is also on the line. This is turning into a storied rivalry between these two Florida teams. This is now meeting number 33 of these two teams. The FAU versus FIU rivalry goes back to 1985. That's right, when Back to the Future came out. The Panthers have a 13-32 advantage over the Owls. The Owls lost 21 of the first 22 games of the series, but has made a push as of late, winning 6 out of the last 10. And Owls trying to make that 7 out of 11. So those two aspects of the game are on the line, but there's more than just that, of course. It's Coach Jim Jaber's opportunity to claim his 500th win, a monumental mark. If he could get it today, he should be able to. Looking at the stats on paper, FAU truly has a better team on the roster, but that doesn't always transcend on the court. The Owls starting with Stu Gay, Crystal Prim, Lodaveka Aho, Glenisha Harkless, and Juliet Gautier. 4 out of those 5 players almost averaging 10 points per game. Stu Gay, 9.2, almost there. But looking at the leading scorer, Crystal Prim, 14.9 points per game, leads the team in double-doubles with 7. She plays the guard forward position, has the ability to slash and be relentless in the paint. She gets to the rim so well, draws free throws. She is such a physical talent, and Owls will certainly need her here tonight. Owls definitely need also to step up in the post game. Stu Gay will have to do a good job to combat the efforts of Chelsea Gamadas, probably the Panthers' most productive player, shooting 46% on the year and 9 8.3 points, or check that, 8 points per game, as she is the 6'3" center from Amada, Portugal, and Stu Gay will be tasked with covering her. Lodovica, she has been on the right track once again in the scorers column. She has scored 17, 13, and 18 respectively, averaging 12.4 points per game as just a freshman. An absolutely remarkable number there. And looking at the ball move for this team, that's been probably the greatest improvement, the ability to move the ball for these Owls. Lodovica Aho with 56 total assists. She is your leading ball distributor. Looking back at last season, Glenisha Harkless was tasked with the responsibility of controlling the ball at the point guard position. She had 56 total assists on the season, which led the team. Lodovica Aho right now has 56, and she will look to increase upon that number. And nice meeting you. And make sure this ball movement is fluent against this rivalry game versus FIU. The Panthers, they have had trouble scoring the ball, averaging 53 points per game on the season. As a team collectively, last game they fell to Western Kentucky by a margin of 20 points, a deficit of 20 points, 71 to 51. But Owls, they've been better offensively. Defensively, they have lacked greatly. They really need to just step up and overall play a more physical, disciplined, aggressive set of defense here today. They are coming off a game where Marshall absolutely lit them up from beyond the arc and inside, slashing, shooting the three. Marshall scored 85 points compared to the Owls 75. Following a rough second quarter in which the Owls were outscored 26 to 10. That's something FAU must work on their endurance. They played very well in the first quarter over the past few games against very talented teams. They just haven't been able to keep up that spark and momentum, carrying on into the latter stages of the game. But despite the Owls putting up 26 points compared to the Herds 20 in the first quarter, FAU was unable to pull off the comeback. Lodovica Aho last game led the Owls in scoring once again for the second consecutive game after posting 17 points. Stu Gay finished the day with 16 points. She had 4 3-pointers alone in the first half of the first quarter. So fun to watch, such a dynamic two-way offensive player. And it's going to be fun watching her go to work against the Panthers if she could find that rhythm and carry it on throughout the rest of the game. Once again, the Owls looking for their 14th win here at home, or here against FIU in general. Away, the Owls have really struggled against this Panthers team, 4-17, and an unusual mark for FIU. They are 2-10 at home, and on the road they are 3-6, so very unusual, slightly more comfortable on the road. The Panthers going to do their best to defend their home court at Ocean Bank Convocation Center. Tip-off coming up in just 2 minutes here. Probably the most important game of the season. I'll probably be saying that as every game progresses. They put us here for the same. And look at players to watch for the Panthers. Chelsea Gamera's already touched on her, the redshirt senior, 6'3" from Amada, Portugal. She's rejected 23 shots on the year, not just an offensive player. She dominates on both ends of the floor. They also have the 6' forward senior Yeva Spagules, as she has looked like an entirely different player in her last 2 games than she has looked the rest of the season. In her last 2, she has scored 30, 18, and 12 respectively on 55% shooting, something the Panthers really need another X factor to come up and transcend this team into the conference tournament. 50 seconds now till tip-off. Right now we'll get to starters. For the Owls, it's a Stu Gay, Crystal Prim, Lodovica Aho, Glenisha Harkless, and Gautier. We'll see most likely Glenisha Harkless take over at the point guard position. And for the Panthers, it's Cheyenne Daniels, Fujika Nemo, Chelsea Gamaris, Dean Diane, who they call DD Jenny. DD Jenny, the 5'10" guard junior from France, who actually played with the Stu Gay earlier in her career. So they'll be meeting this time as foes, if you want to call it that, on the Panthers' home floor in Miami. Dean Diane, by the way, started in the team's last 7 games. She is an existential three-point threat and a solid rebounder, bringing down 79 on the season. Against North Texas, she raised the bar for a new career high of 20 on 8 of 15 shooting. Right now we're getting to the national anthem, then tip-off here on FAU Sports Network. Stay tuned.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this for the playing of our national anthem, performed this afternoon by the FIU band, Courtside Players. Once again, a very pleasant good afternoon, fans, and welcome to the Ocean Bank Convocation Center for today's Conference USA matchup featuring the visiting FAU Owls and your FIU Panthers. Now, please direct your attention to the court for the introduction of today's starting lineups. First, the introduction of the starting lineup for the Owls of Florida Atlantic University. Starting at a forward position, a 6'2" junior from Créteil, France, number 00, Stu Gay. At guard, a 5'11" graduate student from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 1, Crystal Prim. At guard, a 5'6" freshman from Vivian, Finland, number 3.
All right, so we are back getting into starters as we speak. Owls versus Panthers Conference USA basketball with serious postseason implications here in the Ocean Bay Convocation Center, home of the Panthers. Lodevega Ahu, Stu Gay, Crystal Prim, Ganesha Harkless, and Juliet Gauthier, both teams with 6 foreign players, 12 in total from around the world here in today's matchup, the Sunshine State rivalry between these two teams.
Desmond Thomas Batiste and Terry Prim. And head coach of his 3rd season at FAU is Jim Jaber.
And then another thing the Owls need to certainly keep control of, containing the three-point ball. Last game we saw 2 of the best scorers, some of the best three-point shooters in the country for Marshall, absolutely burned the Owls from beyond the arc. But look out for Juka Nemo for the Panthers, the 5'8" guard freshman today getting the start. Nemo's established herself as a core starter this season and has turned out to be one of FIU's leading scorers with 9 points per game. She had a breakout performance against NC Central, the career best 22 points this year. That marked a game number 2 of a 7-game double-figure scoring streak. She has taken 88 threes this year, not the most efficient from three-point land, but certainly has the ability to catch fire. And so although this FIU team, not the top of the conference, they certainly have the talent to dominate from inside and out, something the Owls must be cautious of heading into today's matchup, tipping off in just a few moments, getting through the FIU starters. Now looking after this game, the Owls have a nice home stand for Southern Miss, La Tech, 2 very winnable games, and back at FIU back at Boca rather, then Western Kentucky, Old Dominion, Southern Miss, those are both on the road. Then they close out the season versus Marshall, so plenty of opportunities to better that record, to get a better spot in that conference tournament. But it all depends how these talented players at FAU collaborate on the court, of course.
Senior from Almada, Portugal, number 14, Chelsea Humanes. At a guard position, a 5'10" junior from Sable-sur-Sarthe, France, number 21, Dee Jimmy. And at a guard position, a 5'6" senior from Garland, Texas, number 23, Briosha Scott. assistant coaches of your Panthers are Michael Mangione, Brianna French, and Kiki Miles. And your head coach in her fourth season as head coach here at FIU is Tierra Malcolm.
All right, we are just about ready for a tip-off. The Owls looking to snap a 3-game losing streak and also clinch win number 500 for their season, and brilliant head coach Jim Jaber versus these Panthers. Both teams squaring up in center court, about ready to tip off here in Miami, Florida. It's Crystal Prim and Cheyenne Daniels tipping off. Daniels has started the team's last 12 consecutive games. She has scored a career high of 6 points 3 separate times this season, has scored 8 points on 4 of 5 shooting, and it's Daniels who wins the tip. Daniels a very consistent scorer, not really prolific scorer, but puts in 4, 5, 6 on each game, give or take, and the FIU Panthers control to start the game. It's Briosha Scott, top of the arc, Lanisha Harkless stepping up. Scott controls, swings it right. Now it's Fujika Nemo, goes to the rim, double team, forced to pass it back out to the arc. Driving in is Scott, nothing there. Baseline trap, shot clock winding down, jump ball. What a defensive presence for FAU on the opening possession, and they'll get the ball. Panthers tried to drive in right sideline baseline, and they were trapped 2 times. That's the kind of defense you want to see the Owls come out with. And Glenisha Harkless to the rim, draws a foul, 2 free throws coming up for the sophomore. Glenisha Harkless, who led the Owls in assists last season. She's become a core starter for your Owls. Harkless receiving 19 minutes per game, averaging nearly 2 assists per game, hits the first shot, and that is the game's initial point. 1-0 Owls lead. Second on the way, nails both, nothing but net for the sophomore, and Harkless puts the Owls up 2. She was also the one that forced the jump ball on the other end of the floor. She has been very aggressive defensively. That's something the Owls once again really need to improve on. Playing more disciplined defense. They are a team apt to give away a great deal of fouls. Here's Dee Jenny looking for an open shot. Long range 2 from beyond the elbow. No good. Owls 2 consecutive stops. Veka Aho with the rebound in transition up to Harkless. Has space. Drives in. Nothing there. Gay 3. Top of the arc. No good. Fighting for it is Prim. She comes down with the board. Double team on the right block. Going to take her time. Set up. Oh, Veka Aho wide open 3. This one no good. Hits all iron. And the Owls come up empty-handed. 2 great looks for FAU from beyond the arc. Gay and Veka Aho had a chance to put this team up 5-0. Instead, it's the Panthers firing on the other end. It's Nemo. Just talked about her 89 3-point attempt of the year, and she converts on it 3-2. It's potentially a 6-point swing in this game for the Panthers. Cutting in is Gauthier. Miscommunication. Ball finds Veka Aho on the other end. Pulls up. Nice shot by the Finnish phenom Lotta Veka Aho, her first 2 of the game. She has scored 13, 17, 18 respectively in her last 3, and she puts the Owls up 1 2 minutes into this game. 8:10 on the game clock. Scott on the drive, nothing there, resets. Briosha Scott against Glenisha Harkless. On the left block, she's trapped. Harkless has her stopped in her tracks once again. Panthers have been trying to penetrate, nothing going. This time it's Scott out to Jenny, drives in, had an open look at the rim, could not put the right touch on it. Owls come down with the board leading 4-3. Crystal Prim out to Harkless, wide open again. Panthers deciding not to cover FAU from 3-point land, and Owls going to make them pay. Harkless, her 5th point of the game. She has 5 out of the Owls 7, 2 coming from the stripe, 3 from downtown. And FAU leads 7-3. On the other end, it's Daniels handing it off to Nemo, who has the Panthers' only 3 points of the game. And this one's out of bounds. Last touch FIU. Cheyenne Daniels tried to back down a Stu Gay, nothing going in the paint, and the Owls come up with another stop, trying to expand on this early game lead, almost 3 minutes in. Out to Gauthier, has been very consistent, double figures in each of her last 5 games, and we have a foul off the ball against FIU.
Her
That's going to be Nemo. The Panthers' only scorers, 1 of 1 from beyond the arc. All same 5 starters out there for both teams. 7-11 on the game clock. Leading scorer for the Owls, Glenisha Harkless, emerging as the hot hand at the beginning of this contest. It's going to be Loda Vega Aho with the inbound. Right to Estuge, then handoff to Vega Aho. 3 on the way. Doesn't hit anything, and coming out the rebound is Nemo. Just called for the foul in transition. She gets Dee Jenny, and we have a traveling violation.
FAU basketball.
And it'll go right back to the Owls. We've seen this, though. The FAU rallied on in the first quarter, but the question is, can they keep up this kind of play, this intensity, in the later stages of the game? Crystal Prim scoreless so far, selfless player, but averaging 15 points per game on the season. Estuge driving in, working with the footwork, one-hand hook, no good, and we have a foul against FAU, trying for the offensive rebound. Estuge trying to get fancy with the footwork, couldn't put it in, and Amber Gaston will sub into the game, looking to replace Estuge.
Checking in number 32, Amber Gaston.
So not quite the first quarter Estuge exhibited last game, where she had 4 3-pointers early off in the first quarter for 12 early points, but now it's Amber Gaston taking over at the 5 position. She will be guarding Gamarez, one of the Panthers' leading scorers, and we have another traveling violation against FIU. Panthers absolutely stone cold offensively. Nothing going on for this FIU team. They have 3 points, 3 minutes and 30 seconds into this game. Alana Swift will sub in for the Panthers. Swift, a slashing guard who makes her impact off the bench this season. She reached a career high of 10 against conference opponent ODU 4 games ago. The bulk of her scoring comes from within the perimeter. She is not comfortable shooting the 3-point shot. Harkless takes the ball. She's wide open again. They're not covering her from 3-point land, and that's her 6th point from downtown. And she has 8 out of the Owls' 10. Wide open, looking like a practice routine 3, and she converts on it easily. And you have to put some respect on Glenisha Harkless. So leaving her that wide open, you're just asking her to drain the 3. 10-3, Owls up, 3 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. 6:10 on the shot clock, the game clock rather. Gaston, Gauthier, Vega Aho, Harkless, Prim all on the floor for the Owls. Daniel Swift, Nemo, Gematis, and Dee Jenny all on the floor for the Panthers. Meanwhile, FAU, they have established an 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes and 14 seconds, and that's the Panthers' 4th turnover in the last 2 minutes and 35 seconds. Everything going right for FAU right now. And Glenisha Harkless has done a phenomenal job at the point, dictating the floor and also scoring the ball. She has 8 points already 4 minutes into the game. Crystal Prim has the ball in the right wing. And that's already Glenisha Harkless' season high. She's wide open for 3. Pump fakes, has room going in, puts it up. Close range jumper, no good. Tipped in the air. Both teams fighting for it. And it's going to be Gamarez coming down with it in transition. It's Nemo. Hand up pass to Swift. And she draws a foul driving in baseline. Now subbing into the game, it's going to be Nicola Ozola, the Latvian freshman, and she'll replace Glenisha Harkless. What a great job Harkless has done, leading his team to a 10-3 lead. Subs out with 8 points, a season high, in just 4 minutes into this first quarter of play.
Foul on number 5.
And we have another immediate foul against Ozola subbing in. Ozola trying to contain Daniels, the forward. Mismatch, Daniels trying to capitalize on it. And she's definitely going to have to switch, so FIU working the ball now. It's Dee Jenny baseline trap, double team. It's Gasson and Vega. Oh, forcing another travel, 5 turnovers in just over 3 minutes time for FIU. They are struggling immensely offensively, and the Owls starting to capitalize on it, leading by 7. 5:25 left on the game clock for the first quarter. And Dee Jenny will go to the bench for Giselle Thomas. The Panthers' leading scorer and primary scoring option, averaging nearly 11 points per game on the year. Ozola playing at the point, taking over for Harkless as she now resides on the bench, and it's Crystal Prim pulling up from the Nicola Azola pass, and the Owls, the Panthers rather, will take a timeout leading by 3 nearly halfway into this first quarter. We'll be right back here on FAU Sports Network. Stay tuned. And we are back on FAU Sports Network, where the Owls close out the first half of the first quarter on a 10-0 run over the course of 3 minutes and 10 seconds, forcing 5 Panther turnovers in the last 3 minutes and 28 seconds. They've done it by forcing those turnovers. FAU, they almost have 3 players on the season with at least 30 steals. Crystal Prim with 31, your season leader Loda Vega Aho with 37, and Juliette Gauthier with 27. They forced 7 turnovers this game. Or check that, 6, and they've scored 7 points off of those turnovers. Meanwhile, the Owls have not turned the ball over once halfway through the first quarter, and it's going to be Amber Gasson assessed her first foul of the game. And it's certainly been a physical and aggressive defensive mindset for the Owls, but with 5 fouls, with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter, the Panthers will be shooting, ensuing every foul for the rest of the quarter. First free throw up and in, that snaps a 10-0 run for FAU.
Substitution, number 23, Tanaya Gordon.
That was Giselle Thomas, who scored double figures in her last 5 of 6 games and certainly has the ability to reach upwards of the 20-point mark. So that puts the Panthers on the board. Much needed points for this FIU team, digging themselves in a hole early off in the game. 12-5, Nicola Ozola, guarded by Cheyenne Daniels, taking her to the rim, fade away, mid-range, no good, off the glass, couldn't find the bottom of the net. On the other end, it's Swift, picked up by Ozola. Panthers trying to hurry things up offensively. Pass to the baseline to Cheyenne Daniels. Daniels now on the right wing, up to Thomas. Thomas to the left side, now Swift from beyond the left wing, stops Ozola, playing great defense, smothering these Panthers. Three-pointer on the way for Gamadas, and she hits it, not her primary shot, but she's able to bury it wide open, and the Panthers now suddenly on a 5-0 scoring run in the span of about 60 seconds, 12-7, 5-point game. Owls trying to answer back. Amber Gasson, top of the arc, drives in to Vega Aho, mid-range pull-up, no good, and the Panthers coming up with another stop after that timeout. They seem to be dialed in. 4 minutes left to go on the game clock. Swift has the ball at the point. She is scoreless up to this point. Ball to Gamadas, out to the three-point line. Pump fake to Thomas, goes in, past Gaston, lays it up, no good. And it's Tanaya Gordon coming out the rebound. She had 4 steals last game in the back half of the fourth quarter. And put on an absolutely ferocious performance against Marshall. Now it's Nicola Azola from beyond the three-point arc to Gasson. She's going to try a long 2, it looks like. That's no good. And after that timeout, it seems as if the Owls have lost their momentum offensively. Panthers trying to capitalize, down 5. Gamadas being guarded by Gordon. Stops her at the right elbow, up to Swift to reset at the point as Vega Aho steps up. Swift has a lane, gets fouled hard to the rim, and we'll have 2 more free throws coming up for the Panthers. So this lineup starting to work things out for FIU. Daniel, Swift, Nemo, Gamadas, and Thomas.
Her second personal. For the Panthers, checking in for the first time, number 15, Yeva Spigule.
Now we have Yeva Spigule, who has scored 30 in her last 2 games on 55% shooting. She has been a problem from beyond the arc, and shooting 2 is now the point guard Alana Swift, the 5'6" freshman from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, misses the first. Keeps the score at 12-7. Owls still without a turnover in this game. Second free throw up and in, 4-point game.
Substitution for the Owls. Checking back in is number 10.
And I don't believe the Owls have scored since Harkless came out of the game, so they'll put her back in for Tanaya Gordon. She seems as if she has been the key element in the Owls' offensive success for the first part of the first quarter, and we'll see her again. Crystal Prim to Lodaveka Aho, being guarded by Swift. Prim, pump makes a 3, has a lane, pulls up, she gets fouled. 2 free throws coming up for one of the best at drawing free throws in the conference. Will be against Giselle Thomas, her first foul. And it will be up to Crystal Prim now at the free throw stripe to snap a scoring drive of 2 minutes and 12 seconds for these Owls, who lead by 4. First free throw up and way off. She's been struggling from the free throw line as of late. A 64% free throw shooter, averaging nearly 15 points per game. She'll try again to make it a 5-point contest. Rims out. An extremely unlucky roll. Don't know how that one didn't find the bottom of the net, but that's going to keep it at a 4-point game. 3 minutes left to go on the game clock. Alana Swift controlling the ball against Azola. Prim will switch and cover her now. FAU setting a few picks, and Swift pulls up a tough off-balance fadeaway shot from mid-range. No good. Prim with the rebound, working quickly on the other end offensively, spinning to the rim. Drawing a foul, it looks like. I know it's a traveling violation. Try to do too much there. Try to utilize a spin move and clear some space to the rim. Took an extra step in the process, and this scoring drought for FAU continues. 2 minutes and 40 seconds without a point now and counting as the Panthers control. Didi Jenny into Gamadas. Backs up to the elbow, nothing there. Back to Swift at the point guard position. Gamadas sets a screen. Swift has space, bounce it into the forward. Back to Swift. Now the 3-point line. Great ball movement. Doesn't pay off. Missed shot from Didi Jenny. She is 0 of 3 now with 2 turnovers. Not a good start for her. 2 minutes left to go on the game clock. Owls still leading by 4. Both teams cold offensively. Prim to Azola. Left side of the 3-point line, Astuge backing down. Commanders are trying to. She gets stuffed, and this is out of bounds. Last touch Panthers. Owls have a chance to reset. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 2 minutes left to go on the game clock. The last 8 consecutive shots for both teams, they have been missed, 4 apiece. And the Owls have not scored a point in the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Harkless being guarded by Spagule. Veka Aho controls at the point, drives in left side, has space, got a lane up that quick step, and capitalizes on it. Veka Aho snaps the scoring streak, a prolonged one of almost 4 minutes, and the Owls now lead by 6. Astuge with the block on the other end. Crystal Prim comes down with her 4th rebound of the game, along with 2 points. Azola to Veka Aho, trying to work quickly, and she takes a step before she put the ball on the deck. That's going to be a traveling violation, going right back to the Panthers. Prim subs out without a foul. It's good news. She is prone to give up fouls, and that's what's constricted her at times from exceeding the amount of playing time she usually has. Foul trouble, but she heads to the bench without a foul. 4 rebounds, 2 points for the Owls' leading scorer. Owls lead by 6. Bagule into Gamadas. Draws a double team out to the corner. 3-point for Nemo, no good. Rebound goes to Glenisha Harkless. She's been a true warrior so far this game, driving into Astuge. Pump fakes a 3, has space, mid-range, pulls up, can't bury the jumper. And a nice rebound from Didi Jenny. She fell out of bounds while saving it, did not turn the ball over. Driving into Swift, nothing there. Gamardos crushes in for the board. Right back out to Swift. Spagule moving the ball now around the perimeter. Didi Jenny drives in, draws a double team. Astugager, second block of the quarter. Stuffing Jenny ran into a brick wall. The Panthers, they've missed their last 8 consecutive shots. Gordon from the baseline, no good. And Gamardos there to conceal the rebound, her 5th of the game. She leads the game in the rebounding front. And Alana Swift controls the ball at the point. 1 assist, 1 rebound, 1 point in 6 minutes for Swift. Ends up to Nemo, and Spagule rotates to the right wing. Swift now has the ball against Tanaya Gordon, picked up by Zola. Double team looking for Spagule on the screen, and it is a foul off ball against FAU, trying to control Spagule from breaking away off after the pick.
Number 23, Tanaya Gordon, her first personal.
Gauthier is going to sub in for Stu Gay and Emmer Gaston for Tanaya Gordon.
Alexis Lightfoot. On the line, number 15, Yeva Spagule.
And now a prime opportunity for FIU to score. Spagule at the line. She is scoreless. She hasn't taken a shot yet, but the Panthers, they've missed their last 8 consecutive shots, and they missed that free throw to keep this at a 6-point game. 14-8, 20 seconds left on the game clock. The Owls will have a chance to control if they either rebound or, yep, missed it. They'll have to rebound here, and they'll have a chance to have the last shot of the quarter. Azola to Veka Aho. Sanchez steps up on her. Gaston to Harkless now. Underhand pass to Veka Aho. Step back, 5 seconds on the game clock. No good. Spagule for the rebound. 3 seconds now left to hurry up. Swift. Half-court shot. Will it count? She got it off the front iron. And that will wrap up the first quarter. The Panthers having a very difficult time scoring against this FAU defense. The Owls, they forced 6 early turnovers. They've scored 7 points off those turnovers, 2 assists for each team. And it's Harkless leading the scoring front with 8 points, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. And that's where we stand heading into the second quarter here on FAU Sports Network. Stay tuned for more FAU basketball coming right up. And we are back, beginning of the second quarter. And for the Panthers is Paula Orenes, the 5'8" senior guard from Barcelona, Spain. And she inbounds it to Alana Swift, who has been playing at the point for the majority of this game. Swift trying to break a double team to Arenas, crosses it over the court. Right back to Arenas now. Quick ball movement from these Panthers. Swift has it, draws a double team from Azola and Veka Aho, and they foul her right as the ball entered the hands of Amber Gaston, almost securing their 7th turnover of the game. Instead, that's a foul against number 5, Nicola Azola. So in 6 minutes, that'll be her 2nd foul. She's scoreless on the game. And the Owls coming out with a double team defense in the backcourt. Spagule finding Swift. Swift to Dee Jenny, has room in the baseline, can't finish her footsteps. Offensive board for the Panthers, and they capitalize on a second chance opportunity. Dee Jenny went in, grabbed her own offensive board. Now it's Nicola Ozola. Owls working the 4-point lead, 14-10. Gasson spinning, looking for space, draws a foul. Good job by Amber Gasson against Spagule. And Crystal Prim will come back into the game after a short break. Played the majority of the first quarter. Gamedes coming in for the Panthers, replacing Wyckoff.
On the line for the Owls, number 32, Amber Gaston.
And Gaston will receive 2 free throws, looking for her first points of the game. Finds the bottom of the net, and the Owls score their first point of the second quarter, 15-10. Amber Gaston, the sophomore out of Vicksburg, Mississippi, had a season high of 18 against Western Michigan in that miraculous comeback they pulled off in the last minute in the fourth quarter. Misses the second, rebound by Dee Jenny. Now the Briosha Scott playing at the point guard position is what the Panthers initially started with to begin this game. And pulling from mid-range is Paula Orenes, and she buries it, her first point of the game. Coming off of her first shot, 15-12, and now it's a one-possession game. The Owls led by 9 in the first quarter after going on an extensive 10-0 run. And now it's Gauthier handing off to Crystal Prim. The Owls leading scorer drives in, athletic, take to the rim, can't finish, but she does draw contact, and she'll go to the line for 2 more.
Number 14, Chelsea Gumades, her first, team's second.
It's against Gumades. And tried to stuff Crystal Prim.
Shooting 2.
Prim 143 free throw attempts coming into this game. 0 of 2 in this one, hits her first. Owls lead by 4 second on the way, and she gets that one as well. Crystal Prim now with 4 points and 4 rebounds in just 9 minutes of play, along with an assist and only 1 turnover. The kind of basketball we like to see from the Owls' leading scorer. Moved around Briosha Scott, finds Gamadas. Stu Gay something up on her along with Veka Aho now to the corner. 3-pointer from Spagule on the way. She's wide open. There's Spagule looking like she has been in her last 2 games. Absolutely scorching hot from beyond the arc. A 2-point game now. Panthers slowly but surely cutting down this deficit that they reached with 5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Stu Gay trying to answer with a 3 of her own off the mark. And now we have a foul against FAU going for the rebound. And the Panthers now have a prime opportunity to tie up this game or even take the lead, trailing by 2 with 8 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
Number 1 of the Owls, Crystal Prim. Her first, team's second. We have an official timeout on the floor.
Now we have official timeout, so we'll be back. The Panthers finding a rhythm offensively. They've made their last 3, trailing by 2. We'll be back here on FAU Sports Network for more Conference USA basketball. And we are back, not sure what they're reviewing here, possibly the foul ensuing the rebound attempt. determining if it was a common or flagrant foul. 8:02 left to go on the game clock. And after an impressive first quarter where the Owls led 12-3 at one point on a 10-0 run, the Panthers have battled back in the second quarter. Struggles continue for FAU, it appears, and it is an intentional foul. And the Panthers missed their first free throw. Briosha Scott shooting, and she misses the first. She'll have another chance to bring this to a one-point contest. Commanders with 5 rebounds so far. Briosha Scott misses the second off the back iron. A big opportunity for the Panthers. That could have been a 4 or 5 point swing if they had hit both of those free throws and capitalized offensively, as they are rewarded possession after the intentional foul. Paulo Renes inbounds. Briosha Scott hands it right back off in the backcourt to Spigule. Renes gets it back. Gauthier playing defense. Dishes off on the right side in the corner. Now it's Camaro's dribbling in. Double team. She's trapped under that baseline. Passes baseline drive, and this is out of bounds. A 3-second violation. This goes right back to the Owls.
3-second violation.
So how about FAU denying the Panthers of any points after 2 free throws in an offensive possession? They get 0 points out of it. And can they turn that into a 2-possession game rather here on the offensive end? And we have a foul off the ball, on the floor rather,
Panthers foul number 10, Paula
against Paula Orenes, who has 2 points. And that's her first foul of the evening. 7:38 on the game clock. FAU leads by 2, 17-15. Leading scorer still remains Glenisha Harkless, who did damage in the first quarter from beyond the arc, as the Panthers left her wide open. Now we have a travel against FAU, another unforced turn, or an offensive foul rather. And that's going to go against Loda Vega Aho, her second foul. Vega Aho not shying away from shooting the ball today, 2 of 6 from the floor with 2 rebounds in 12 minutes. Panthers, they made their last 3 shot attempts, and it's Paula Orenes controlling at the point, being guarded by Crystal Prim. Immediately to Spigule, top of the 3-point arc. Handoff to Nemo, top of the arc, in to Gamaris, rotating the ball rapidly to the 3-point line. Ball movement pays off, hard to keep up with that. Spigule registers her second 3 of the quarter, and a nice 6-0 run for the Panthers. They regain the lead for the first time they gain lead for the first time this game. 6-0 run over 60 seconds. They made their last 4. Harkless on the other end to Gay, bobbles it, stolen by Gamaris. And the Owls get it right back. Crystal Prim comes up with a steal. Back and forth action, sloppy basketball in the second quarter. And FAU desperately in need of something here to regain the lead after they cough up a 9-point lead in just the time of 1 quarter. A Stu Gay to Vega Aho, is going to try to contest the 3, short. And we have a foul against the Panthers. Or is against a Stu Gay. Oh, it's going to be against a Stu Gay. She is not happy about that call. And that's going to strip a possession away from FAU on the back end of a 6-0 run. They haven't scored in 2 minutes. They only have 3 points this quarter. Only players on the floor to score for FAU, Prim and Vega Aho with 4 apiece, Harkless with 8. For the Panthers, Nemos, Orenes, Gamaris, Spigule all have at least 1 field goal. Gamaris goes up, gets the lucky roll off the turnaround hook against a Stu Gay, and now an 8-0 run for these Panthers over the last 2 minutes. 2017, their largest lead of the game. 6 minutes and 10 seconds left to go on the game clock. Ball rotated to the outer wing, right side to Crystal Prim, takes it up to the top. Looking for Lay now, crosses left, nothing there. Arena's playing some good defense against an aggressive driver, and Crystal Prim gets it right back from Gay. Step back, looking for space, long range 2, line drive shot, no good. Spigule rebound. Spigule with 3 rebounds, 6 points of 2 of 2 shooting, has the ball, slings it over to the left side, feeding the hot hand. Gamaris goes up, 1-hand hook, fading away, unbelievable. Post move from Gamaris, and she is taking over this game. 6 points, 3 of 4 shooting, 6 rebounds, and the Panthers establish a 10-0 run of their own, and they lead by 5 here on FAU Sports Network. We'll be right back. And we are back. It's been a similar story for these Owls who dominate the first quarter, put on an electric performance in the first 10 minutes. Then in the second, it's a 180 turnaround over the last few games, and that's what we're seeing right now, a 10-0 run for FIU to answer the 10-0 FAU run. Put on in the first quarter over the last 2 minutes and 41 seconds. The Panthers starting to find success in their forward. Gamadas, who has 6 points, 3 of 4 shooting. Harkless another 3, and the Owls cut this down to a 2-point deficit. There's Harkless scoring her first point since the middle of the first quarter. She has 11, the game's leading scorer, but can the Owls find success defensively as they did in the first quarter? They're only shooting 29% compared to the Panthers' 42. Paula Orenes from beyond the arc, feeding the hot hand. Gamares draws a double team, looking to dribble. And she's back out on the 3-point line, finds Briosha Scott. Double team, pass to the corner, 3 on the way. Nemo no good. And there we go, that's exactly what the Owls need, a quick 3 and a stop on the other end. A chance to tie up the game now halfway through the second quarter, 4:50 on the game clock. Harkless has space to shoot. She's going to take a few dribbles and pass to Crystal Prim. Cutting pass to Juliette Gauthier, can't finish, had a good look. And that's going to be a foul against FAU. And that was an amazing pass for Crystal Prim. She threaded the needle and found Juliette Gauthier cutting in, but Gauthier just couldn't put it up on the right spot of the glass, and Harkless will sub out for Nicola Azola. Harkless subbing out with 7, Azola with 1 assist in 7 minutes. And the Owls once again in foul trouble. They have got to control themselves defensively. Nemo shooting 2 more. Nemo 3 points. Her first 2 free throws of the game. Panthers leading by 2 and misses the second. Panthers, they could have a much larger lead. They are 3 of 9 from the free throw stripe. Make it 3 of 10, misses again, fortunately for the Owls. Panthers have been abysmal from the free throw stripe. Up court to Amber Gasson, wide open layup, couldn't finish it. And they had the Panthers beat, caught them off guard down the floor in transition off the free throw, and Gasson just completely threw away the layup. And she gets back defensively and fouls Cheyenne Daniels. These forwards for FIU starting to find their game here in the Ocean Bay Convocation Center in Miami, Florida. Amber Gasson subs out for Stu Gay. And again, this could be a big point swing for FAU, a 4-point swing for the Panthers, rather. Gasson missed the easy layup, and now Diane Daniels is at the line for 2. Daniels has not taken a shot, 3 rebounds, however, and 1 assist. She has done her role. That's what she usually does. Not a primetime scorer, but presents herself as a major defensive piece, and she's at the line for 2. First free throw up and in. The Panthers needed that after shooting 3 of 10 prior to these free throws. Owls on the other end, 5 of 8 from the free throw stripe. Second in. Panthers now lead by 4. They led by 5, which is their largest lead of the game. 4:20 left to go in the second quarter. Gauthier, who is scoreless, has the ability to heat up in an instant, just has to find an open shot. Azola crossover has space. She'll try to shoot, and she draws a foul. Nicola Azola going to the line to attempt her first point of the game.
Foul number 5 of the Panthers, Fujika Nemo. Her second, team's 4.
That's Fujika Nemo, her second foul of the game.
Substitution, D.D. Jenny.
And D.D. Jenny will replace Fujika Nemo after her second foul of the game.
Number 5, Nicola Uzuma.
Azola shooting 2, hits the first, 6 of 9 from the free throw stripe, and the Owls cut it to a 1-possession game. 21-24, 4:11 left to go in this second quarter of play, one that the Panthers have dominated. Owls, their field goal percentage dwindling down to 26. Meanwhile, the Panthers, 40%. Both teams 3 3-pointers apiece, but the Panthers doing it in a much more efficient manner. Briosha Scott out to the corner, and Paula Arenas moves it up to the top of the 3-point line, picked up by Veka Aho. Arenas moving well, stops her dribble, however, on the right wing. Now D.D. Jenny has it, being guarded by Prim, gets a screen from Spigule. Bounce pass stolen by Azola, there she is. throwing a wrench in the Panthers' offensive flow. And 24-22 with 3:30 left in the game clock. The Owls have a chance to tie it up. Pull-up jumper from Azola, no good. Rebound from D.D. Jenny. 3:30, Panthers moving it down the other end, pushing the ball up. Briosha Scott fires into the forward Cheyenne Daniels, miscommunication and way over her head, and that's going to go to the FAU Owls. Was expecting to have Daniels pop out and receive the pass, and she just lined it out of bounds on the baseline. And if you look at the turnover margin, you think the Owls have controlled the game. Panthers have turned the ball over 10 times, the Owls just 4. Yet FIU has a 2-point lead, 24-22, one-hand pass into Gay. She'll take the mid-range jumper, nothing but net. Commandus gave her room, inviting her to shoot that mid-range, and she took advantage of it. Stu Gay, her 4th point of the game, 2 of 7 in 10 minutes. Tied up at 24 apiece. 2:50, Alana Swift controlling at the point guard position. Hasn't scored. Excels off distributing the ball, setting up the offense, but drives in and gets blocked by Gay or Gauthier. Both had their arms up. Both looked like got a piece of it as the ball made its way to the rim, was deflected. Azola runs into Paula Orenes, forced a pass back out to Crystal Prim. Prim looking to drive right, stops, goes again, stop and go move from Prim, draws a foul. And Kakamed is on the way up. So after losing control of the second quarter, the Owls starting to look more confident. They have a chance to regain the lead here in the second. It's Gamarnes' second foul. And the Owls have now entered the bonus for the remaining 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Prim with 4 points, 2 of 4 from the stripe today, 4 rebounds in 15 minutes. Lanisha Harkless replaces Gauthier, scoreless. Harkless still the leading scorer, getting it done by the long ball. 3 3-pointers have comprised 9 out of her 11 points. Now at the line is Crystal Prim, trying to give the Owls a lead with 2:29 left to go in the second quarter. Pretty free throw, she nails it. 5 points for Prim now. Second, up and in. Prim, Vega Aho, Gauthier, Zola, and Harkless on the floor for your Owls. Daniel Swift, Orenes, Bagule, and D.D. Jenny. Brace the floor for the Panthers. Cross-court risky pass to Bagule. She brings it down. Panthers, you have to give them credit how fast they're moving the ball. Hard to keep up with. Even broadcasting this game. Ooh, between the legs pass finds Daniel. She's diving on the floor. Trips up Crystal Prim. And it's going to be foul against Crystal Prim. And that's going to be a very controversial call against Crystal Prim. She was on the floor. She looked like she was kicked as Daniels tried to go for the ball, but somehow FIU will come out of this with 2 free throw attempts. It's Daniels from the line, hit her first 2, make it 3. That's going to make this a 1-point game, 26-25, 2 minutes on the game clock. And that snaps a 6-0 scoring run for the Owls. Panthers, they've hit their last 6 of 8. And Daniels misses the second, 1 of 2, splits the pair. That allows FAU to keep the lead, a 1-point narrow lead, 26-25, 2 minutes to go now, under the 2-minute mark. Harkless has a lane to drive, stops, instead kicks out to Prim from beyond the 3-point line. Now Zola retains possession, moves it over to Veka Aho. Stu Gay, top of the 3-point line. Guarded by Arenas, hand up to Harkless. She's now from the top of the arc. Owls have to shoot, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Stu Gay. Crystal Prim grabs a rebound with 1 second on the shot clock and finishes the bailout putback for Crystal Prim. Frustrating for FIU, played such disciplined defense, forcing the Owls to take a tough turnaround shot, and Crystal Prim saves the possession, and she now has 8 points on 6 rebounds, flirting with a double-double big time now, 28-25, 1 minute, back and forth game. It's a game of runs so far in here in Miami. Alana Swift baseline drive, out to Dee Jenny, almost out of bounds. She's able to secure it, and no, her foot does step out of bounds, and this will go over to FAU. So an important possession now, 1 minute remaining in the second quarter, and the Owls have a chance to make this a 2-possession game with any points. They lead by 3, 28-25. Ozola takes it up at the point guard position. Ozola 2 points, 1 assist in 10 minutes. Has ball to Stu Gay on the lower right block against Daniels. Instead gives it to Veka Aho. 3-pointer for Stu Gay. Give and go. No good. And Prim can't come down with the rebound. Swift pushing up the floor quickly on the other end. Ball rotated to Dee Jenny. Drives in right block. Now to Paula Orenes looking for a mid-range shot. Nothing there. Double team. Jenny wide open 3 off the double team. No good. Harkless will be called for the foul against Daniels. She tried to box out but got too physical with it. She continued to push her back and shove Daniels to the floor.
That's her second personal foul.
And these fouls really starting to get to FAU. The Panthers, they have not had a field goal in the last 5 minutes and 9 seconds, yet they trail by just 3. The chance to make it a one-possession game, a 1-point game rather. Daniels misses the first free throw. She's had all her points from the free throw stripe, 4 rebounds for her. Shaky day from the free throw stripe for the Panthers, 40%, 6 of 15 from the line. Second one rolls out, no good. Fortunate roll for FAU, unfortunate for the Panthers. 3-second differential between the game and shot clock, and a traveling violation against FAU.
Panthers ball.
And this is a game so far where the Owls should really have a greater lead. They have stopped the Panthers from converting on the field goal for the last 5 minutes, 20 seconds and counting, yet they lead by just 3. Alana Swift taking her time. Shot clock turned off, 14 seconds on the game clock. Swift pick up by Veka Aho trying to get a lane. Veka Aho steps in front, 7 seconds on the game clock now. 5 seconds, it's Swift going in. It's like 23-17, the Panthers lead. Owls struggling to shoot from the floor, 29%. However, they are turning the ball over, controlling FIU defensively. They have allowed just 25 first half points. That's right around what the Panthers are averaging, 50 points per game. They scored 51 last game against Western Kentucky. They are being led by Spagule and Gemadas, their forward and guard dynamic duo. Spagule with 3 rebounds, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc for 6 points. Meanwhile, Glenisha Harkless has 11 first half points, her career high. She's at a career high 5 minutes into that first quarter, and that takes us into the second half. We'll be back in 14 minutes for more FAU basketball. Stay tuned here on FAU Sports Network.
Wait, is yours Mitch?
Once again, FIU Athletics. advantage, so he's still there. And he's still there.
I mean, I don't know how the game's gonna go. So.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
He makes the shot. This could be it, but he doesn't. And he doesn't. So it looks like we still got two. We don't. Okay, we still have two. This is the longest game of Lightning knockout in the history of the game. I was just informed this is the first time we've done this game. And we have a winner. Congratulations to the winner of our game of
Right, and we are back here in FAU Sports Network, home of your FAU Owls and FAU basketball, where the Owls lead by 3 after an exciting first 20 minutes of play, back and forth action. The first quarter that was dominated by FAU. They went on a 10-0 run early off in the game, shutting down FIU on both ends of the floor. And then FIU on the other end in the second quarter responded. That's been the story of the later part of the season for FAU, dominating the first and then finding difficulty scoring the ball in the second quarter. The Panthers answered the 10-0 run of their own. And now we are at 28-25. Owls having trouble shooting the ball 29%. They've had open opportunities, have not capitalized on a majority of them. FIU shooting 36% from the floor. And they should be at least tied right now if their free throw shooting was at least average, but it is subpar for sure. 37.5%, 6 of 16 from the free throw stripe. Crystal Prim has taken 6 free throws. She has made 4 of them, 7 rebounds, 8 points. She is certainly right there, flirting with her 8th double-double of the season, which leads the Owls. And how about Stu Gay defensively? She has recorded 4 first-half blocks. That is right, 4 first-half blocks in just 13 minutes of play. That is the first time an Owl has had 4 blocks since Amber Dasson just last season. And they have switched off playing at the 5 this game on the floor, 25-28. Both teams getting ready to continue play here at Ocean Bay Convocation Center in Miami, Florida. Major playoff implications on the line for this game. And, of course, Coach Jim Jaber looking for his 500th win. He has been sitting at .499 for 3 games now. On the floor for FAU, Vega Aho, Harkless, Prim, Gautier, and Stu Gay for the Panthers. That's Daniels, Nemo, Gamatis, Didi Jenny, and Briosha Scott. Owls controlling the ball for the first possession of the game. Ganesha Harkless going to launch a 3. She was on fire in the first quarter. That time doesn't go. Ball being kicked around. Prim on the floor, able to save it, and she passes it inadvertently to Nemo, and that's going to go to FIU.
Foul on the Owls.
Oh, it's going to be a foul, actually. And it's against Juliette Gautier, and she hasn't been her usual self. Double-figure scoring her last 5 consecutive games. A very consistent player, and she has only scored. Well, she hasn't scored yet. She's 0 of 1, only taking 1 shot, 3 rebounds, however, no turnovers. Now it's FIU looking for the first points of the second half. Ball rotated to the top of the arc, and that's an offensive foul against FIU down low in the post. That goes against number 2, Cheyenne Daniels, who is doing the majority of her work on the boards. 4 rebounds, 3 points in 11 minutes. That's her second foul of the game. Both teams empty-handed. Opening possessions of the third quarter. Ball now finds Gautier. She's going to let it fly from beyond the arc. No good. Daniels, her 5th rebound of the game. FIU dominating the boards. 25 rebounds compared to the Owls' 17. That has been a big problem for FAU all season long, not just this game. Briosha Scott playing at the point, stopped on the baseline. Stu Gay has been playing phenomenal defense. Offensively, not so great, 1 of 8, but plenty of time to turn that around here in the second half. Daniels trapped, looking for an open. Briosha Scott finds her. Can't finish on the cutting layup. Wow, a missed opportunity for FIU's Briosha Scott. 0 points. That was her second shot opportunity. As Stu Gay dribbling the ball, she is fouled. She had her legs taken under her by Cheyenne Daniels reaching for the ball.
Foul against number 2, Cheyenne Daniels, her 3rd, team 2nd. Yeva Spagule checks in, replacing Daniels.
And now Spagule will be replacing Daniels. Spagule, the stretch forward, 6 points. She has been extremely efficient in her last 3 games. Before this one, she had 30 points in her previous 2 games. Coming into this one, 18-12 respectively. Now Crystal Prim will impound. Gay, Veka Aho, Harkless, Gautier on the floor with her. Nemo, Gamatis, Spagule, Didi, Jenny, and Scott on the floor for FIU. Pass sharp one to Gautier, pump fake. That opens up a wide open baseline jumper. She misses. Now the foul on the floor, and this will go over to FIU. So both teams 1 minute and 30 seconds into this game. We have a few possessions, and no one has been able to find the bottom of the bucket. 28-25, and that's going to be the 3rd foul against a Stu Gay. 4 blocks, but a tough day scoring. 1 of 8, 2 points. Briosha Scott playing at the point guard position. Swings over to D.D. Jenny. Gamedes immediately, she came alive in the second quarter. She has 6 points. Wide open jumper for Briosha Scott. And she has been off, missing a layup and a wide open jumper. And we're still stuck at the same score we saw at halftime. 28-25. Juliet Gauthier, left wing, being guarded by Scott. Handoff to Beka Aho. Behind the back dribble, trying to clear lane up, nothing. And Gauthier finds a Stu Gay baseline mid-range shot. No good. She is now 1 of 9. Ball lost. Who did that touch last? It's going to go against FIU. Wow, 2 minutes and 8 seconds have expired in the third quarter. Both teams scoreless, 28-25. Inbounding is Gauthier. Nemo into the game for the Panthers, guarding the inbound. Sharp pass to Prim, wide open. Easy 2 points for FAU. Prim now has 10 points, 7 rebounds, just 3 boards away from her 8th double-double of the season. But more importantly, she wants to close this game out and find Coach Jim Jaber's 500th victory and put the Owls in better position to make the tournament. Spagule looking for a third shot. She has hit all 3. That was her first shot coming from within the three-point arc. She now has 8 points on 3 rebounds, 3 of 3 shooting, and we have a timeout for Coach Jim Jaber and his Owls. They'll talk things over. 3-point game, 27-30 here on FAU Sports Network. We'll be right back. And we are back to action, continuing play here in the third quarter. 30-27, Owls lead by 3, being led by Granisha Harkless, who has 11 points. On the other end, it's Damaris and Spagule, the Panthers' leading scorer. She has 8 points, perfect shooting, 2 of 2 from beyond the arc. And she made her only field goal jumper just moments ago. She has 3 rebounds as well. She has been the leading offensive force. Beka Aho 3 on the way. She's been off from beyond the arc. A Stu Gay offensive rebound. Second chance opportunity. Trying to back down Gamedes. Nothing there. Out to Crystal Prim. Left baseline drive. Double teamed. Out to Harkless. Harkless zings it right back to Crystal Prim, and she buries the wide open baseline jumper. Prim is heating up. She has 12. 5-point lead for the Owls. Looking for their all-time 13th win against FIU. Gamedes backing down a Stu Gay. Gay has had trouble guarding her all night long, and Gamedes now has 8 points on 80% shooting with 7 rebounds. Back to a 3-point game. Gay trying to get one right back on her off the rim. No good. Tried for the one-hand hook, and Gamedes was right there to secure the rebound. Panthers now trail by 3 with an opportunity to tie up this game. Paula Orenes being guarded by Beka Aho. Almost got the steal. Still controlling the ball is Orenes. Out to the 3-point line. Wide open Nemo, and that's going to tie up the game. Fujika Nemo bearing the 3. Starting to come alive from beyond the arc. That is where she is most effective. 6 points, both from 3-point land. 3 points, and the Panthers have hit their last 3 consecutive field goals. Harkless misses the open shot. There is Prim for the putback. 8 rebounds, 14 points. She is taking over this game on the offensive end for FAU. The Owls lead by 2. Neither team away to break away. They have had their own respective 10-point runs, but since then, the 10-point run in the second quarter, this game has been neck and neck. A traveling violation against Gamedes. And the Owls have a chance to expand on this 2-point lead, make it a 2-possession game with any bucket here. D.D. Jenny out of the game. Harkless taking it up for the Owls, and Allie Tokel will come in momentarily. The next dead ball, her first appearance in this evening's matchup with 14 points. Prim has it, being guarded by Giselle Thomas, who only has 2 points. A double team looked to pass, looks for a no-look pass, was deflected and stolen. In transition, it's Nemo out to Paula Orenes, driving against Prim, and she immediately backs up Prim, a great defender, and Jimenez draws a double team right back out to the 3-point line. Corner now, Vega Aho stepping up on Thomas. We have a foul against Vega Aho, moving her body and making contact simultaneously on the baseline. Prim subs out with 14 points, 5 of 6 shooting and 8 rebounds. And Vega Aho now with 2 fouls. Paula Orenes inbounds nearly halfway through this third quarter. 34-32, 5 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Ball to Gamedes, double team, slings it out to the 3-point line. Nemo once again, no good. Rebound from Stu Gay, she has 3. 1 of 10 shooting for Gay, but defensively she's been just fine. 4 blocks, 3 rebounds in 18 minutes. Pass down low is stolen by Nemo. She has been everywhere now, making impact on the defensive end that time. And a traveling violation, double dribble. Tried to do too much and get it out to Thomas. Took an extra dribble before. 4:40 left. We have a media timeout. 34-32. Owls lead by 2. An exciting game, one with major postseason implications and pride on the line as the Owls are on the hunt for Coach Jim Jaber's 500th win. We'll be right back here on FAU Sports Network.
At 7 p.m. to play against the visiting Louisiana Tech Lady Texters. For more information about upcoming FIU women's basketball home games, visit FIUsports.com.
And we are back. The Panthers leading this quarter by 1, 7-6 score, and overall the Owls have the lead, 34-32. Panthers shooting 39% from the floor, the Owls 29. The Panthers have had 8 different players to score. 8 of their 10 players that have seen action have scored at least 1 point. Harkless, Gautier, Ellie Tilka getting her first look at the game. Stu Gay and Loda Vega Aho all out there for FAU. Sharp pass to Loda Vega Aho, pull up left wing, or left elbow rather, no good, and Gamanis grabs her 9th rebound. She has just 1 point and 2 points rather, and 1 rebound away from a double-double. She has been the leading factor, especially down low in the post on both ends. She has been difficult to contain. Going up is DD Jenny. She can't finish. An offensive rebound for FIU. They've been dominating the boards very well. 29 rebounds, 5 offensive boards for these Panthers. 4 minutes left to go. Bounce pass to Gamedes, and she draws a foul against Ali Tilka, it appears. And she absorbed major contact against the physical towering Gamedes, who just bullied her right over it. After that, Tilka will sub out for Crystal Prim. And Gamedes has a prime chance to tie things up here in Miami, Florida in the third quarter. Gamedes with 8 points. Her first free throws coming up right now. The Owls haven't scored in 2 minutes and 5 seconds. First up and in, 1 point game. Gamedes now with 9 and 9. Hits both easy free throws, or at least she made it look easy, and we are tied up at 34 apiece. Vega Aho quickly receives the ball in transition after the free throw, setting things up for the Owls into a Stu Gay on the baseline. Takes a few dribbles and hands off to Crystal Prim. Picked up by Thomas, right back to Stu Gay, right wing of the 3-point line. Carrying it across the perimeter, finds Venetia Harkless gets a screen and has space to work. Veka Aho catch and shoot in the face of Spagule. No good. A Stu Gay offensive board. Just what the Owls needed. And a lost ball, but it's poked out of bounds by Thomas last touch, and the Owls will keep it. A quiet offensive day for both of these teams. No field goals for the Panthers in the last 2 minutes and 48 seconds. They wrapped up the second quarter in the last 5 minutes without a field goal, and the Owls have not scored in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Tied at 34 apiece. And up to Veka Aho, drives in, fouled against Paulo Renes, it seems. Yes, Paulo Renes will be issued a foul. And Veka Aho has a chance to put the Owls back up in front. A chance to snap the scoring drought that has exceeded 230. Veka Aho shooting 2, first up and in. Owls fairly efficient from the free throw strike, now 10 of 13 compared to FIU's 8 of 18, a mere 44.4%. But even having said that, they're right there trailing by 2 after Veka Aho buries the second. She has 6. She has not shied away from shooting the 3 ball. She has been letting them fly left and right. 6 attempts, but none have found the bottom of the net. 3:17 left to go in the third quarter. FAU leads by 2. Paulo Renes to the corner. Nemo, no 3 though, so she'll give it to Gamedes, double teamed immediately. Back to Nemo. Veka Aho picks her up to the right wing. Great defense from FAU. FIU having a tough time moving it around. Tough off-balance circus shot from Arenas. No good. A perfect defensive closeout for the Owls. Gauthier dribbling in transition. Baseline fadeaway. Tough shot. And she could have taken her time with that one. That's an ill-advised shot from Gauthier. And this gives the Panthers a chance to tie it up on the other end. Thomas into Gamedes immediately drawing that double team. They are pressuring her down low. Out to Nemo. Pump fakes. Has space to drive. Puts it up over Stu Gay. And great concentration from Nemo. She was met by Stu Gay at the rim. And she finishes. Nemo now with 8 points. 3 of 7 from the floor with 3 rebounds. Tie game once again. And we have a foul at 3. Second violation against FAU. These unforced turnovers starting to hurt the Owls. They have forced 15, however, and have scored 9 points off those turnovers. Venetia Harkless will replace Nicola Ozola. Harkless, who has been quiet ever since scoring 8 first-half points. She has 11 on the game, which leads the game in scoring. Paulo Renes has touched the ball at least every possession, it seems like. She's done a great job controlling things at the point. Arenas picked up by Veka Aho, takes a few dribbles, crosses over left. And Giselle Thomas averaging 11. She's been quiet, 2 points per game. It's been Gamedes stepping up for FIU, driving in now, looking for some scoring action. She is assessed the traveling violation. She made the tough layup with Crystal Prim right in her face, but it is negated by the traveling violation. This goes back to the Owls, and this has just been a dormant offense for both teams. 8 points scored by FAU this quarter, 11 by the Panthers, tied at 36. Under 2 minutes left to go now. Stu Gay winds up the 3, and we have a foul. Shot did not fall, and that's going to be on the floor against the Panthers.
The foul number 30, Giselle Thomas, her second, team's 5th.
That's against Giselle Thomas, and the Owls now in the bonus for the last minute. 45, shooting 2, Crystal Prim. Now the team's leading scorer with 14, 1 rebound away from her 8th double-double. Finds 15, that's her season average, and the Owls hold on to a 1-point lead. 1:45 left to go in the third. And this is the second. Gamedes loses the rebound, but it falls in the hand of Paulo Arenas there to save the possession. 1-point lead for the Owls. Arenas blows past Veka Aho and has room to work. Ozola picks her up, and that's going to have to force the FAU defense to shift over a player. Double teaming Arenas to Gamedes, tries a 3, knocks it down. How about the forward connecting from beyond the arc? Gamedes has been a problem for FAU, now doing it dynamically from multiple facets offensively. 2-point lead for the Panthers. Stu Gay rotates it to Nicola Ozola. Veka Aho now controls at the point. Gay will try to answer the 3 of her own, and she does. How about the forwards letting it rain here in Miami, Florida, and the Owls back up 1. Stu Gay give the Owls something to cheer about. 1 point lead, 1 minute left to go in the third. Orenes has the ball, driving in, tries to dish it out, and inadvertently finds Nemo. Certainly wasn't intended for a three-pointer from Orenes, and she hits it. Back-to-back-to-back 3-pointers. Each team has connected on the three. And now a 2-point lead for the Panthers. 3 consecutive possessions resulting in 3-point field goals. Prim now to a Stu Gay. Hit the last one for FAU. Gauthier being guarded by Gamidas. Certainly has a speed advantage. There she goes, driving in. Soft touch, no good. Offensive putback for Stu Gay. She can't finish, but does come down with the rebound, and she'll be rewarded 2 free throws to try to tie this one up. Panthers starting to let the 3-ball fly efficiently on the floor. Orenes, Gamidas and Spaguli all have at least 1 3. They are 6 of 11 from beyond the arc. Stugay misses the first. 5 points, 4 blocks. She has 3 fouls, must be careful. They need her to combat the efforts of Gamidas heading into the fourth quarter. Panthers, they've hit their last 3 consecutive, and that makes it a 1-point game as Stugay buries the free throw. Orenes pushes it up the floor to Gamidas, who just hit a 3-pointer. Game clock rather. The shot clock turned off. Top of the arc, Owls trapping Thomas. Ball moved to Gamidas. She can't finish the open 2. 3 seconds on the game clock. Prim's got to throw up a half-court prayer. It is not answered. That wraps up the third quarter. What a game. The Panthers outscored the Owls by 4. We have a neck-and-neck thriller here in Miami, Florida. The Owls look to try to erase a narrow 1-point deficit and snap a 3-game losing streak. When we get back here on FAU Sports Network, stay tuned for the exciting conclusion of this evening's game. We'll be right back.
To make as many baskets as possible, but to win the prize, the contestant must make at least 5 shots. Have to complete at least 5 shots. All right, our contestants ready? We're ready. On your mark, get set, and go. Okay, he's got 25 seconds. He's got 21 seconds. He has made 2. He's got 14 seconds. He's got 9 seconds. And he's got 3 seconds. But he's going to run out of time. But we thank our contestant for being our contestant in the Miccosukee Tribe of Indians of Florida Shooting Challenge.
And we are back. This fourth quarter will truly show us what kind of team the Owls are. Will they be resilient and close out this game and show how clutch they can be? Because this is the type of play that will determine how well teams do in the tournament, or will they falter and fall off to these Panthers trying their hardest to protect their home floor. They've only won 2 games this year here in Miami, Florida, and the ball is inbounded to Arenas, who has taken over at the point guard position after Swift and Scott were doing so to begin the game after tip-off. Nemo to Spaguli. He's only taken 3 shots, but she's made every single one. 8 points for Spaguli, 3 of 3. She's going to try for a 4th 3-pointer. That one's off the marker. First miss of the game, and the Owls come up with a stop and a chance to take the lead. And that's pretty much been the narrative of the game so far. Every team has had a chance to take the lead every possession. It's been such a close game. And Harkless sets it up at the point. 11 points for her, the second Owls leading scorer, trailing behind Crystal Prim, who has 15. She has been at her best attacking the rim. There she goes right now, spinning up, can't finish. 2 free throws for the aggressive Crystal Prim, attacking the rim, and she'll have a chance for 17. She does have a double-double, her 8th of the season, 15 and 10. And this is what she is capable of when she avoids foul trouble. She has 2.
On the line, number 1 Crystal Prim.
And Prim with 2 free throws, a chance to tie it up and even give FAU a narrow lead. No good. It's been tough for her shooting free throws this season, 64% shooter. And this would tie it up. On the floor, Nemos, Arenas, Gameres, Spagule, and Thomas for the Panthers. And the second one, nothing but net. All tied up at 42-15. Now 16 points for Crystal Prim. 5 of 6 from the floor. Now it's Giselle Thomas. Guarded by Prim, stays right with her off of the screen, set by Gameres, and is going to hand it right back to Arenas. Arenas dribbling left, picked up by Prim. Gameres pump makes a 3, right back to Arenas from beyond the arc. Drives in behind the back pass. Oh my, she found her. Out to the 3-point line. Spagule drives in, running jumper. Wow, she is great. Spagule hits it again. That's her 3rd consecutive game scoring double figures. She has been a big factor in FIU's offense, and now a foul against FIU, and Vega out to the line for 2.
Foul on number 15, Ava Spagule.
Ava Spagule was going to be assessed her 2nd foul. Spagule now the 2nd leading scorer for the Panthers at 10 points.
On the line, number 3.
She's ahead of Nemo with 8 and behind Gamedes with 13. Veka Aho getting 2 free throws, hits the first, 1-point game. Veka Aho now with 7, doing the majority of her scoring from the free throw stripe. She is now 4 of 4 from the line or half. She has 8 points, 2 rebounds in 31 minutes. Not her most proficient scoring day, but still she'll take it. 8 points. Giselle Thomas looking for the step back instead. Slings it over to the right side in Gamedes. Driving in is Arenas. Gamedes puts it up off the fadeaway, turnaround shot in the post, and Goke is fouled hard. And she's going to walk it right off.
Foul number 15, Ava Spagule.
And just like that, Spagule picks up her 3rd foul. 2 quick ones in the last minute for Spagule, shooting 80%, 10 points, 3 rebounds. She is a lethal offensive threat for any opposition. 44 apiece, 8 minutes and 20 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter of play. Crystal Prim has the ball on the baseline, looking to make a move. Still controlling, now backs up to the right wing, drives in, has space, can't finish, and there is a foul, and that's against the Panthers. Good break for FAU. And that's going to go against Thomas. Thomas, really, unlike her usual self, averaging 10 points per game, 10.7 actually. She only has 2 with 2 rebounds. She's missed every shot from the floor. Both she has taken and 4 fouls.
And we have a timeout on the floor.
And now we have a timeout on the floor with 8:09 left to go in the 4th quarter. Both teams had a 44 apiece, wild 4s here in the 4th quarter, and we'll be back in FAU Sports Network to continue this wild 4th quarter. We'll be right back.
On senior night last week, but there are still 2 more home games remaining this season. Conference USA bonus play will run from February 27th through March the 7th. And FIU will play 2 more home games during this time right here at the Ocean Bank Convocation Center. Visit FIUsports.com for complete updates on these games, as they will be announced later in the month.
And we are back here in FAU Sports Network. Welcome to the 4th quarter basketball if you're just joining us. And right now we are tied at 44 apiece here in the 4th. This game has been neck and neck. Both teams have had a 10-0 run earlier in the first half, but since they have gone back and forth, tick for tack, exchanging blows throughout the course of this game. That's where we stand now. The leading scorer is Crystal Prim. She has a 16-point double-double. Inbounds pass for Stu Gay. Hits the wide-open jumper. And the Owls claim a 2-point lead. Stu Gay starting to heat up. She now has 8 points, 6 rebounds in 25 minutes and 4 blocks. Starting to come alive on both ends of the floor. Paulo Arenas will sit up to Nemo. And now Spaguli, who has 10 points. She has been electric over the last 3 games. Gimenez trying a hard double team, trying to draw fouls, backed up, and the ball is tipped, almost stolen. Nemo comes down with it to the corner, catch and shoot 3. No good. Stu Gay reels in the rebound. Harkless moving it up. Owls can now expand this to a 2-possession game. Beka Aho being guarded by Nemo on the right side of the 3-point arc, drives in to draw a foul.
Panthers foul on number 5, Fujika Nemo. Her 4th, team's 5th.
And that's going to be the team's 5th foul with 7:25 left to go in the 4th quarter. So for the remainder of this quarter, the Owls will be shooting free throws after every foul. That is a very valuable asset to have on their side. You can be sure they'll use their explosive drivers, Beka Aho and Crystal Prim, to that advantage, and the Owls now have a 3-point lead. Beka Aho has not missed from the free throw stripe, and 6 of 6.
Panthers substitution.
And the Panthers will sub in Briosha Scott. Replacing Fujika Nemo. Scott scoreless in this game without an assist and 4 turnovers in 12 minutes. Not a very productive day for her. She'll try to redeem herself as her team needs her now, trailing by 4 with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the 4th quarter. Paula Orenes drives in left, met by Gauthier to Gameda. She has been quiet as of late. The Owls have been containing her, double teaming her. And we have a foul against the Stu Gay. That's her 4th. She is 1 away from fouling out. Owls now on a 6-0 run of the past 1 minute and 46 seconds. As Stu Gay, Coach Jim Jaber is going to leave her in there. Too valuable, especially when she's tasked with guarding Gamedis, who has 13 points and 9 rebounds. And now we have a 30-second timeout called by FIU with 7 minutes left to go in the 4th quarter. 4-point game. Owls lead. We'll be right back here for some 4th quarter action at FAU Sports Network. Stay tuned. So we are back. The Panthers trying to inbound and trying to prevent this game from slipping away. They now lead by 2 possessions, 44-48. And this is a very big one for the Panthers. Briosha Scott controlling at the point to Gameda. Being guarded by Gauthier. Quickly swings it over to Orenes. He's going to try the right side. Bounce pass to Gameda. Not her comfort zone from beyond the arch. She'll pass it into Briosha Scott. Drives in. Double team. Almost stolen by Prim. 1 second on the shot clock. 3-pointer. No good. Rebound from Juliette Gauthier. Great closeout for FAU. In transition. Not wasting any time. Finds Crystal Prim. Going to try to go right. Draw a foul. No whistle and no bucket. And Gameda's just secured her first double-double of the season. 13 and 10 for her in 30 minutes. 44-48. Orenes drives in against Gaston, has space, goes up, nice touch on the finish, and it's going to be an and one, a late foul, and that is a costly mistake for the Owls as they fouled Orenes driving to the rim. It was Amber Gaston, I believe, who got a piece of her arm, or Sveka Aho, rather. And this was actually a foul after the shot, so this could be a huge 4 to 5 point swing for the Panthers. The bucket counts, and the Panthers have possession. Damaris goes up looking for contact, nothing there, and the Owls stop her once again. And they step out of bounds, so FAU comes away only giving up 2 points, which could have been a disastrous mistake. Leading by 4, they fouled Orenes, but 46-48, 4 minutes into the 4th quarter. And Ganesha Harkless has possession on the right wing. 4 minutes have expired here in the fourth officially. Gauthier being guarded by Arenas. Pump fakes, has space. Can she get past Arenas? She does, can't finish, but Arenas is credited for the foul, and Gauthier will have a chance to hit her first point of the game. Been a silent evening for Juliette Gauthier. Uncharacteristic of her, but she has a chance to bury 2 monumental free throws as the Owls try to close things out and course to the finish line. Gauthier shooting 2. Hits the first. The most efficient free throw shooter last season. She is now on the board. Owls shooting just 28%, but they have utilized their aggressive slashes to their advantage. Gauthier misses the second, and Owls on 19 of 25 from the arc. In transition, it's D.D. Jenny, and she is fouled going up for the layup. Wasted no time pressing the ball up the court all by herself, and now she'll have a chance to make it a 1-point game. Owls, neither team could break away in any sense. And Jenny's now at the line for 2, Stu Gay's former teammate. D.D. Jenny misses. She only has 2 points, 1 of 7 shooting, has been very effective on the board, 6 rebounds, and makes that one 2-point game, 49-47. Up the court to Gaston, loses the ball, and it's an ill-advised pass. The Owls should be taking their time right now. It's going to be a turnover. They tried to push up the floor to Gaston. Down low, get a quick, easy 2, but Gaston was out of bounds, surrounded by white jerseys, and Gaston will sub out for Stu Gay. 2-point game. FIU right there once again. Neither team able to gain a serious streak of momentum and pull away. This one has all the meaning of a game down to the buzzer, and a miss. Wide open shot from Briosha Scott, rebounded by Ganesha Harkless, and she'll quickly progress it up the floor, up to Lodaveka Aho, now right wing, one-hand sling to Crystal Prim. And look at Arenas giving her space. Prim back here down, spinning, tough one-hand shot on the run. Doesn't get the bounce ball, tipped 3 times, saved by Prim to Gay. Wow, what a save for Crystal Prim, showing off her game awareness and athleticism. Second chance opportunity, 5-minute mark here in the fourth quarter. Driving as Veka Aho pulls up, no good. And a missed opportunity for FAU in the second chance, and now it's Paulo Arenas controlling at the point. Arenas has been great taking over, controlling this game. Just 7 points, 3 of 4 from the floor. Up to Gamedes, now finds Briosha Scott driving in. We have a tie game once again. The ball moving from FIU, proving to be very effective. Owls having a tough time keeping up with it when they're dialed in. 49 apiece, time winding down on the back half of the fourth quarter. Gauthier. Another Veka Aho. Arenas right in her face, not giving her any room. Gauthier has a screen, used it to advantage. One-hand shot on the run. It's not her shot. She was guarded, did not have enough room to put that up. 4 minutes left now in the fourth quarter. D.D. Jenny out to the corner. Spagule, she has Spagule 10 points, 80% shooting. Guillermes goes in, spins right past Stu Gay, caught her off the footwork, and the Panthers have taken the lead once again in the fourth quarter. Trouble for FAU. 3:55 now left to go in the fourth. Stu Gay trying to bounce right back and respond with the post shot of her own. She is fouled by Gamedes. And Gamedes not thrilled at all about that last call. She is frustrated. Didn't think she hit any part of the Stu Gay, but no matter. Gay's at the line in an attempt to tie up this ball game. 51-49 with 3:49 left to go in the fourth quarter. Gay 4 blocks. She has not had one since in the first half, but she has 8 points. These are her third and fourth free throw attempts of the game, and the biggest ones so far. Owls need these to tie it up. Hits the first 1-point game. Panthers, they forced 10 turnovers. They've only scored 3 points off those turnovers. This is to tie up the game. Stu Gay looking for her 10th point, and she gets it. And as poorly she was playing, not very efficient to start off this game, she's 1 rebound away from a double, or 2 rebounds away rather, from a double-double, tied up at 51 apiece. D.D. Jenny up to Paula O'Rena's Briosha Scott now crossing over left. Rena's thought about the three. He's going to drive in, meets a double team, and Scott nowhere to go out to Demaris. Driving in, no space. Rebound secured by Juliet Gauthier. Great defensive effort from FAU that time. Gauthier pushing it up the floor. Quick pass out to Ozola. Wide open three. She gets it. And the Owls take off to a 3-point lead, forcing an FIU timeout. A late game three from Ozola sends the Owls into the timeout with a 54-51 lead. We'll be right back here on FAU Sports Network. Or will we have a timeout? Hold on. There was a timeout call. The referee's discussing whether the timeout should be credited or not, I believe. But the three from Mazzola was good. That's standing, and that was her first field goal of the game, and it was a clutch one, to say the least, coming with 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to go to provide the Owls with a narrow lead of 3, but it's certainly something. Owls looking to avoid losing their 4th consecutive game. So I don't think a timeout was called, but FIU will have the ball, and look at the Owls coming out in a full court press, trying to put their foot on the back of the Panthers' necks as we head into the later stages of this 4th quarter. Scott taking it up, met by Ozola, who will defend the point guard. Briosha Scott, 2 points and 4 turnovers. Not her game, but she has time to certainly make up for it. Spagule gets her pass deflected, and she grabs it right back in the backcourt. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Didi Jenny driving in, nothing there. Ball is lost and stolen by Astu Gay. Astu Gay spinning, looking for space, and she clears it to Nicola Ozola, moving up to Loda Vega Aho. Owls have a chance to do something big now. Driving in, loses the ball on the drive. Let me get a 2-possession game. Jenny on the other end looking for a layup in transition. No good. Spagule, a big rebound. Oh, here's a 3 to tie up the game off the mark. And Owls held their breath right there, and they could let it go, but still work to be done. Juliet Gauthier now putting in work on the board. She has 9 rebounds, only 1 point. 3-point lead nearing the 2-minute mark for these Owls who have fought so hard all game long. Gauthier pulls up. Yes! Her first field goal of the game, and that's to put the Owls up 5 with 2 minutes remaining. Can the Owls close this game out?
56-51.
Briosha Scott looking for room to work with. Panthers need points now. They would be in the danger zone if they were able to score. A 3-pointer from Spagule. She gets it. She has ice in her veins. Spagule, her 13th point of the game, brings it to a 2-point contest. That was a game changer, potentially a game changer, and Gauthier moves it to Crystal Prim now. A hard stopper. Gauthier lets a 3 go off the mark. Big rebound, and it's brought down by Briosha Scott. And after trailing by 5 just seconds ago, the Panthers have a chance to tie things up. Orenes goes to the baseline, met by Gauthier. Moves it back to the 3-point arc, taking her time remaining calm. 1:10 rather left to go in this 4th quarter. Orenes out to the right side. Jenny dumps it into Gimenez, and she is fouled, and she has a chance to tie this game up. What a sequence for the Panthers. It was Spagule. That was probably a game breaker. She missed that. The Owls have a chance to go back, take time up the clock, and go up 7, but instead she hits it. Panthers come up with another big stop, and now Gimenez is at the line to try to tie this thing up. She has a 15-point double-double, one of the best games of her career. And it's Amber Caston subbing into the game. Germanes hits the first free throw. One-point game, 63 seconds remaining. Hits the second, a 5-0 run in the blink of an eye. And we have 1 minute remaining, all tied up here in FAU Sports Network. Here we go, the wild ride coming maybe to a conclusion. Regulation might have extra basketball here. Amber Gasliff wide open, top of the arc. She passes up the shot to Juliet Gauthier. Driving in, right elbow, nothing there. Gasson backing down. Gamadas goes up, and a traveling violation. That's gotta hurt for FAU with 43.8 seconds left. Gasson had an opportunity to turn around, put it over. Gamadas a tough task. She is an imposing figure down low, but she traveled. She never got the chance to put that shot up, and now with 44 seconds left, the Panthers have a chance to move the ball down the floor and score. And on the floor is Briosha Scott, and there's a timeout called. So we'll be right back for the ending of this wild game here at FAU Sports Network. In a few moments, stay tuned, don't miss anything. And we are back for this thrilling game that's essentially, it feels like it's been tied ever since the beginning of the second half. Both teams had a 10-point run in their respective first and second quarters. But now all the timeout FAU before we get things underway. But we're going to stay right with you. We don't want to miss any more time here on this broadcast. 17 points for Gamadas. She leads the game in scoring with 10 rebounds. Meanwhile, the Owls have 3 players in double figures scoring. Crystal Prim with a 16-point double-double, 11 rebounds in 35 minutes. She's nearly played every minute of this game. Becca O has played every minute. She hasn't sat a second of this one. 39 minutes for her. 10 points after a slow start. She has really found her success from the free throw stripe, and she is a multifaceted player. Can get it done in a multitude of ways on the floor. This game it's driving in, showing off her athleticism and fearlessness. And Venetia Harkless with 8 first quarter points, has 11 right now. Panthers ball tied up. Briosha Scott moves up to Gimmetis, and right back to Scott, taking her time. Shot clock at 15, game clock at 27. Scott taking a few dribbles against Harkless, looking to cross over, looking for space. Moves now to the right side, up to the top of the arc. Smigule, 6 seconds on the shot clock. Ball is lost. No, it's Scott on the floor. Smigule to the corner. 1 second. Shot is up off the rim. Rebound by Amber Gasson. Owls have a chance for a last second shot. Harkless with 7. And we have a timeout. And we are sweating this one out here on FAU Sports Network. This is insane basketball. Owls have a chance to send their team over the Panthers here in Miami and set up a 3-game losing streak. And if they can get it done in this fashion, what a moment this would be for Coach Jim Jaber. And we'll talk to him after the game, most likely. Six seconds left, 6.7 to be exact. Owls have a chance to inbound. take a few dribbles. Of course, that's plenty of time to get one shot up and finish this game off. And now we're getting ready to inbound the ball. Both teams on the floor. It's Orenes, Gamedes, Begule, JJ Denny, and Briosha Scott for the Owls. It's Harkless, Gauthier, Vega, Aho, Gaston, and Crystal Prim, the leading scorer with 16. Who will take the final shot? Inbounding, it's Vega Aho. One shot to win this game for FAU. Hand up to Vega Aho, 3 seconds, pulls up. No good. Rebound goes to FIU, and that's going to take us into overtime. Vega Aho had a chance to send the Owls soaring over the Panthers, but they have a chance to claim it now in overtime. We're having extra basketball here on FAU Sports Network in the Ocean Bay Convocation Center, Miami, Florida. We'll be right back for the start of overtime in just a few moments. Stay tuned here on FAU Sports Network. And here we go, overtime basketball. Put 5 more minutes on the clock. We'll have tip-off number 2 here on FAU Sports Network. Harkless, Vega, Aho, Gauthier, Gaston, and Crystal Prim going out there. So Prim will replace Stu Gay as she started the game. So the overtime starters, Gaston is in as at the 5. And then for the Panthers, it's going to be Spagule, Gamedes, JJ Denny, Paula Orenes, and Briosha Scott. It's been amazing to see Spagule keep up her impressive performance after a very slow start to the season. Wasn't doing much scoring the ball, but in the last 3 games, she has scored 12, 18, and 13, respectively. And the Owls win the tip, and it's out of bounds, and that's off of Amber Gaston. So 3 seconds in, that's going to be a turnover, and Panthers will essentially have the first possession of this overtime period. Madison Spagule combined for 30 points. Briosha Scott controlling top of the arc, picked up by Gauthier. Spagule comes off the screen, picked up immediately by Harkless. Good defense, and Harkless will switch off to guard Paula Orenes, who takes across looking for Gamedes, and it's Orenes, long 2 on the way. Gets it to go, that's a 3. That's a 3 from Paula Orenes. Her foot was just over the 3-point line, and Orenes hits a big-time 3-pointer. The Panthers really had an amazing way to close off the 4th quarter. 5-point run after trailing by 5 to tie up the game. Gauthier pulls up for a 2, and the Owls answer with a 2. Gauthier now with 5 points and 9 rebounds. A silent scorer, hasn't done much of scoring, but has made her usual impact on the boards. All defensive rebounds, preventing second chance opportunities for the opposition. 1-point lead for the Panthers. Pass from the corner into Gamedes. She has been quiet lately. JJ Denny bobbled the drive after she was down with the pass, and this will be out of bounds against Crystal Prim. JJ Denny inbounds to Gamedes. Harkless flew in, almost came up with a steal. Aggressive defensive mindset from Harkless. Doesn't pay off that time. Spagule 3. Rare miss for her. She traps out her own rebound. Crashing the boards is Spagule doing everything now. Spagule 5 boards and 13 points. And the Panthers now have a chance to make this a 3 or 4 point game. Paula Orenes. Cross-court pass to JJ Denny. Drives in to Gamedes. She's wide open. They lost track of the big forward down low. And Gamedes now the game's leading scored 19. Panthers lead by 3. 3:20 left to go. Owls desperately trying not to let this one slip away out of their grasp as they had it in the 4th quarter, then let up a 5-0 run. Crystal Prim now moving to the free throw stripe, nothing there. To the corner, Harkless pump fakes the three, drives in, runs into a double team. Sharp pass back out to Prim. Drive, left side, goes up. Prim draws contact. 2 free throws coming up for the Owls' leading scorer. Looking for 17th and maybe 18 points of the game. The Owls have really excelled out the free throw stripe. 29 and 30th free throw attempts coming up for the team now. They have hit 21 of those, 29% from the floor. Certainly makes up where they lack shooting efficient-wise from the floor of this game. First free throw, up and in. Two-point game, 3-minute mark approaching. 3:07 left to go in this contest. Overtime basketball with playoff implications. Hits the second. 1-point game. Keosha Scott taking it up, met by Glenisha Harkless early in the backcourt near the half-court mark. Now to Paula Orenes. Orenes swings it immediately to Denny. Comes out with the ball and is looking for Gimenez. It was stolen. Prim and Baker on the fast break. Prim goes up and finishes off the steal. How about a 4-point stretch for FAU, and they turn this into a 1-point lead, 62-61. Prim with a 20-point double-double. Scott coming out to the 3-point line. Scott has a wide open three, won't take it, instead forces it back out to Orenes. 2:20 left to go in the overtime quarter. Owls lead by 1. JJ Denny goes up, traveling violation. Owls get it back.
Owls basketball. Panthers substitution, Giselle Thomas.
Giselle Thomas comes into the game, who has been contained extremely well. Thomas loves to shoot the ball, hasn't been doing much of that this game. 0 of 2 from the floor. 4 fouls, and Paula Orenes is also in foul trouble with 4 herself for the Owls. It's Gasson who has 4. Has the ball on the baseline to Veka Aho. Long baseline pull up, no good, and we have a foul on the floor. That's against FIU. Wow, that is a foul with major implications here, as the Owls will have another chance to score.
Number 30, Giselle Thomas.
That's against Giselle Thomas, and she's out of the game, disqualified from playing any more here this evening. And Crystal Prim at the line, she'll have a chance for 2 more free throws, and this is to put the Owls up 3 if she hits both. She's already working with a monstrous game, 20 points, 12 rebounds on 60% shooting. Her 13th and 14th free throw attempts of the game. Yes, hits the first. It misses the second, still a 2-point game. 21 points for Prim. Nemo playing with some sense of urgency, as are the rest of her Panthers, with 2 minutes left to go in this overtime quarter. Scott being guarded by Harkless up to Spagule, and now Paula Orenes being guarded by Gauthier on the left wing. Orenes takes it in right, has a lane, goes up, dishes it out late last second to Nemo. Driving in is Nemo to the corner. Catch and shoot 3, no good. Harkless rebound. That was a big miss for FIU, a wide open opportunity to not tie it up and take the lead on the catch and shoot. And Nemo comes away with the steal. No, she couldn't bring it in. That would have been a transition opportunity, and FAU comes out with possession. Inbound to Harkless from Veka Aho. 2-point lead for the Owls. Biggest possession of the game by far. Another one which could be a real game breaker to make this a 2-possession game. 1:20 left to go on the game clock now. Gauthier pump fakes. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Veka Aho storming in. Nothing there to Gaston. No, she still has it. 1 second. Prim, the shot. No good, and oh my, that would have been a 2-possession game for Crystal Prim had she hit it. Instead, we have a 2-point game with 1 minute. And deja vu, same scenario almost as the fourth quarter. And we have a timeout for FIU, 63-61. We'll be right back for this riveting quarter of overtime here at FAU Sports Network. Stay tuned. Here we go. We are back. 2-point game. FIU has possession, a crucial possession for the Panthers. They'll roll with Oreñez, Nemo, Gamanis, Gajule, Scott. The Owls going with the same five we just saw. Ball inbounded. Time rolling away. Brioche Scott behind the back dribble, trying to create some space. Top of the arc, draws back once again. Finds Spagule. Gauthier pulling up on her 8 seconds on the shot clock. Oreñez with 7. Gets a screen, shoots the 3 to take the lead, no good. And the Owls secure the rebound. A bucket here could be a nail in the coffin. 8-second differential between the game and shot clock. Harkless sending Prim under the basket. Vega Aho comes up with the ball. Gauthier to Prim, right wing, drives in. Harkless, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Owls wisely taking off as much time as needed. Gauthier with 6 seconds on the clock goes up, pummels into the chest of Oreñez, and instead of scoring and putting this game away potentially, the Panthers get it back. That's Gauthier's 4th. If this thing goes to double overtime, she must be cautious of her foul count. 13 seconds on the game clock. Nemo looking to inbound, running out of time, throws it away. That's going to be a turnover. The Owls have the ball with 11 seconds left, and if they can hit both free throws, assuming FIU will have to foul, but the referees look like they'll take a timeout. And it's going to be Florida Atlantic taking the timeout. A 30-second timeout, so we'll stay right with you. Here on FAU Sports Network, the Panthers have turned the ball over 3 times in the last 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And now it's going to come down most likely to FAU's ability to nail free throws in crunch time. So it's the same 5 for both teams. Still work to be done. This thing far from over. Of course, the Owls still need to successfully inbound, prevent the Panthers from stealing, and then hit both free throws to make this a 2-possession game. Ball moved to Harkless. She's fouled immediately after receiving the ball from Vega Aho. And that took 2 seconds off the clock. 11.3 left to go now. Spagule will be credited her 4th foul. 3 players with 4 fouls for the Panthers. Spagule, just 2 rather, and Oreñez. Shooting 2 is Harkless. She needs both. First, no good. That's going to keep the Panthers in this game if they could secure the rebound. Harkless with 11 has been quiet since the first half. Second, made it.
Number 5, returns to the lineup.
They're going to send Gordon in quickly before we can continue play. Tania Gordon replaces Juliet Gauthier. Gauthier subs out with 5 points, 9 rebounds. Another productive night on the boards for her. 11 seconds left. 6-0 run for FAU over the last 3 minutes, and the Panthers will have a chance to advance the ball. Plenty of time to do so, by the way. 11 seconds, that's more than enough, and tie up this game with a 3-point ball. Unless they decide to go for a quick 2 and hope that FAU misses at least one on the other end, but time will be short if they choose to take that route. And they're going to bring both teams up from their benches and continue play. And I said early in the 4th quarter, this had all the makings of a game going down to the wire, and it certainly did, and then some, as we are in our extra quarter of basketball. Here we go. Paula Oreñez will inbound. Find J.J. Denny advancing up the court. 9 seconds out. They need a 3. Time's expired for the quick 2. Oreñez goes in. 3 seconds. She's going to throw up the one-hand hook. That's going to wrap up the game. She needed a 3. Didn't know the scoreboard, but you know what? The Owls take it. Coach Jim Jaber has reached number 500, and we're going to go talk to him right now.
Your FIU Panthers, 61.
Test. You know what? You can't even hear from this mic. Yeah. And that's going to do it here from Ocean Bank Convocation Centers. The Owls close out an overtime victory in those games, so we'll see you then here on FAU Sports Network. Signing out, I'm Max Ziffer. Thank you.